Yo, what's up guys? It's Suraj from Tech Devoted and I recently had the chance to try out the Sigma 24mm f1.4 art lens for the Sony full frame E-mount system. This lens is actually designed for full frame, and you guys already know I don't have a full frame camera. I only have a Sony a6300, which is an APS C camera. That is actually exactly the reason why I even decided to try out this lens. The curious part of me has always wondered if using a full frame lens on an APS C camera would yield better results than the traditional APS-C lens on APS-C camera setup. So after about 2 weeks of using this lens, I have found some opinions. Firstly, this is an art lens, which means it's part of Sigma's most expensive lens lineup, and so the quality you can expect out of it is nothing short of incredible, and you can feel that from the moment you hold the lens. It has a good heft to it and the build is extremely robust. It even comes with the focus scale that all Sigma art lenses generally have. Now I happen to own the Sigma 30mm f1.4, which is actually designed for APS-C. In case you missed that review, hit that button, watch it right now. Actually watch it after this video. But I also own that lens, which means that is what was my frame of reference. And I actually did a couple of small quality comparisons between the 30mm that I have and this 24mm. So yeah, I'll show you guys that as we progress along the video. But back to this lens, 24mm is a pretty interesting focal length. Obviously an APS-C camera would give you the field of view of a 36mm full frame equivalent, but it's still quite interesting. It's not very wide but also not very zoomed in. In the time that I got to play with this lens, unfortunately I could not travel this time, so all the shots that I did were mostly lifestyle portraits or product based, and I'm actually quite liking the field of view, especially portraits. Not like in the traditional sense of a portrait, but more like a travel/portrait where you have the subject as well as a bit of the background. 24mm also allows you to go handheld in video, as there isn't a whole lot of shake, since 24mm in my opinion is still on the wider end of focal lengths. The aperture is obviously f1.4. What that means is A, extremely bokeh shots, and B, stunningly sharp photos and videos. In my testing, the images were razor sharp even at f1.4 with almost no chromatic aberration. I was curious to see how much sharper the lens is in comparison to my 30mm, so here's a quick sort of a sharpness comparison that I did. So here's a shot of my friend Dinesh Divakaran, aka Vubega brother, shot this on the 24 and the 30mm at different apertures to compare the sharpness. I will admit this is a terrible photo, but again the point is only to compare the sharpness. So first test I did is at f4.5, 24mm on the left. As you can see, it's a wider frame, there's more in the frame in this photograph. This is a 30mm shot and there's a little lesser in comparison. So punching in, immediately you'll notice that the 24mm is sharper. I think I might have very slightly missed focus on the 30mm, but even then I think the 24mm has an edge, because if you take a look at the corners here, the corner sharpness on the 24 is actually much better. Let's take a look at this corner. Same story, the shutter looks way sharper on the 24. This side again, same story, and taking a look at this corner, same story. The 24mm, they both do a decent job with center sharpness, but corner sharpness, the 24mm clearly has an edge. Same shot at f6.3, again punching in, same story. This is a lot sharper, at least to my eye. I don't think I could have missed focus 2 times in a row. Taking a look at this corner, again same story, the 24 looks sharper. This corner, same story. The shutter just somehow looks a little more soft on the 30mm, whereas on this it's a lot sharper. This side, and yeah. Finally the same shot at f9, zooming in. This time I actually think the 30 looks almost equally sharp. Taking a look at the corners, they both look almost equally sharp, so I guess the 30 starts to get better as you stop it down. Again, same story. I think the 30 might even be a tad sharper here, but It's a very close call. Take a look at this number here. Actually, again, same story. They both almost are equally sharp. Uh, this side, yep, and this corner, same story. So yeah, at f9 they both seem to be almost equally sharp, but other two apertures, the 24 clearly has an edge. I also did a vignette test. So for this I just shot a plain white wall, starting at f1.4. On the left side is the 24mm and on the right is the 30mm. So as you can see, there is some vignette, actually very little vignette on the 24mm. On the 30 there is a considerable amount. This is actually a little mind-blowing because up until now I thought this was the least amount of vignette you could get, but now the 24mm has just surprised me. I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, even this is not a whole lot, but if you are like really nitpicky, then the 24mm is doing some wonders here. And at f2 we have completely lost the vignette on the 24mm, whereas on the 30 we do see a bit of it. Not as bad as f1.4, but still existent. Again, finally, same shot at f2.8. Same story with the 24, absolutely no vignette, and 30 has finally caught up. So yeah, there's no vignette even on this image at f2.8. But yeah, clearly 24 is doing a better job with dealing vignette. For video, again, this is a great lens. 24mm is a versatile focal length, good for travel, product, even a great gimbal lens if you ask me. Pair that with the f1.4 and you get really good low light and bokeh. The footage out of the lens is no doubt super crisp and beautiful, but in comparison to the 30mm that I have, in terms of sheer video quality, I don't see any difference. 24mm is a little wider, so that is the most obvious difference that you see, but other than that, my eye really cannot tell the difference in video quality. Even autofocus wise, they were both quite similar in my testing. So what was the purpose of this video? Well, it was just to try out a full frame lens on an APS C camera and see if the results are actually different, if they're actually any better. And as you guys saw, they are, at least in photos. The images were sharper, there was lesser chromatic aberration, there was lesser vignetting. All of that said and done, I don't think it is worth going out and spending an extra $600 to get a full frame lens for your camera. For your crop sensor camera, the 30mm lens, which is designed for APS C, comes in at I think $300 or $400, whereas this is over $800. So I don't necessarily think that you should go out and spend money to get the full frame lens for your APS C camera. I don't think anybody does that. But let's say you have both a full frame camera and an APS C camera, then this lens is totally, absolutely worth buying. You can always, switch bodies and get the best quality out of both cameras. But again, if you're looking for a Sony prime lens for your APS C camera, for your APS C Sony camera, then the 30mm f1.4 cannot recommend that lens enough. But yeah, that was it for this video. I want to give a shout out to my friends Omkar and Dinesh for helping me out with this video. Check out their Instagrams, they both make amazing photos. You're gonna love it. So yeah, that was it for this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you did not, vote it down. Let me know in the comments why I didn't like it. It's been Suraj. Thanks so much for watching. Take it easy and stay devoted.